Ryan enjoys Apples to Apples, a card game that plays with word associations. He likes the unexpected juxtaposition of ideas and the easy laughter that often follows, and he likes the non-competitive nature of the game. In fact, Ryan loves Apples to Apples so much that he insisted on packing it in our luggage. He wanted to take it on our big trip, our trip to Texas. We'll begin our story the night before we left, when Ellen returned from her trip. At the beginning of the summer, Ellen's good friend Abby had moved away. Abby's parents had converted frequent flyer miles into an airplane ticket for Ellen to come out and visit them. So Ellen had flown to Utah for a week with Abby and her family. Now, late on a Wednesday night, Ellen had returned to Michigan. By the time I picked her up at the airport and we headed for home, it was well after midnight. Ryan and I were leaving early the next morning. Here we are, it's 5:15, and it is time to go to the airport. We've got Ryan ready, her mommy's ready, oh boy is she ready. And somehow we've got to get all our luggage in our backpack and continue our journey together. Our flight was uneventful. All was peaceful and quiet, if you don't count the jet engine rod outside our window and the restless babies that had flocked around us. Ryan and I played games the entire way, Crazy 8, backgammon, and some 21. My sister Naomi met us at the airport, along with my mom. With the assistance of a handy GPS gizmo, they ferried us across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and over to Allen, to my parents' home, where Ryan and I would be staying during our visit. We've been looking at my parents' home. They recently redid the exterior and installed new windows, so it's looking pretty spiffy. This ramp was built for my father. Several years ago, he came out to check the mail and fell. My mom was napping. She didn't find him until sometime later, face down on the sidewalk. It turns out his neck was broken. Several surgeries and a long hospital stay later, Dad returned home. Things haven't been the same since the fall. Even before that spinal stroke, he was being treated for prostate cancer. And that cancer, though slow-moving, has been spreading. It's gone throughout his body. Like Ryan, eager to spend time with his father, I'm looking forward to being with mine too.
Well, I first lived in the country southwest of Roscoe, Texas. Southeast, west, Roscoe, Texas. And then we lived closer to Roscoe, Texas.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
It always changed from being a mechanic to being a carpenter to being a welder to different things.
What was your favorite style or styles of music when you were young?
I don't know if there was much when I was real young. There wasn't much music or anything like that. There wasn't really any radio. It was radio, but it was battery operated, so you didn't use it very much. You didn't just sit and listen to music. My grandma Hendricks had a big trove that we would listen to. Stuff like Turkey and the Straw music. I think some of the music that they used to have on that, they used for dancing and that. That would have been old-timey stuff.
What chores or responsibilities did you have?
When I got big enough, there was milking the cows and hunting the eggs and feeding the chickens. Then was feeding cows. Then working in the field.
When you were a child, where did you live?
I lived in a little village called Port Byron in Illinois, right on the banks of the Mississippi River. Probably between being born there well, I was born and growing in the hospital. We lived in probably 1, 2, 3, 4 different houses. Didn't have a house with a bathroom until I was senior in high school.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
What did I want to be when I grew up? I used to always think I wanted to be a teacher, school teacher. And that's what I studied in college.
What was your favorite style or styles of music when you were young?
I guess in those days it was just called pop. We'd listen to the hit parade on the radio, and then we had a record player, and we had records by, Eddie Fisher was big, and Elvis came along about my high school years, and younger things. So and my mom had some, an old Victrola with the kind of paper to plastic records, and we had a crank Victrola. We could put it on and play.
What chores or responsibilities did you have?
You see, as we got old enough, well, there were 4 girls, and we'd have to take turns. One would have to set the table, the other one would have to clear the table, and then the other 2, one would be washing dishes and one would be drying dishes, and that was alternating around. And then every Saturday we all had to help pitch in and clean the house. Then there were times we had to weed the vegetable gardens, or pick the produce when it came in, strawberries or berries. As we got older, we had to do things like help with the laundry, hanging up clothes and folding clothes and putting clothes in that kind of stuff. Just household chores.
What we were doing is finding out, Ryan and I are going to go see Toy Story, and so we were getting directions and finding out about the movie theater for that. And Yomi was very kind, and she printed me these directions and this map here, so we're going to be all set. Ryan and I thoroughly enjoyed Toy Story 3. We laughed our heads off. We exited the movie theater into a thunderstorm. That night, we played Yahtzee with Grandma. Ryan had 3 Yahtzees. It had been a grand day.